Let's talk about a show that somehow convinced millions of people that bullying your coworkers and calling it quirky is comedy gold. Yep, The Office is just a cringe factory. I said it, it's the sitcom people treat like comfort food. But underneath that awkward silence and shaky camera is a glorified documentary about a toxic workplace with a laugh track made of guilt. And if you're already offended, don't click away yet, because by the end of this video, I'm breaking down exactly how this show gaslit an entire generation into thinking Michael Scott was lovable. Before we deep dive into Dunder Mifflin's HR nightmares, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling me which show or movie I should break down next. This is director Ammar Hejazi, and today we're asking the hard question: what if The Office isn't relatable? It's just dysfunctional. Let's start with the obvious. Michael Scott is not awkward, he's toxic. He's the boss who makes inappropriate jokes, constantly crosses boundaries, and turns the workplace into his personal therapy session. In the real world, he would have been fired before the pilot was over. Instead, the show bends over backwards to make his behavior seem charming. Remember when he kissed Oscar without consent? That wasn't edgy comedy. That was sexual harassment. But because Steve Carell delivers it with puppy dog eyes and a confused shrug, it's framed as just Michael being Michael. Number. That's not quirky, that's a lawsuit. The entire show's comedy is built around watching people do things that are uncomfortable, inappropriate, or wildly unprofessional, and then pretending it's relatable. You've got Dwight, who weaponizes authority and literally commits violence in the workplace. Angela, who's openly judgmental and hostile to anyone outside her rigid worldview. Andy, who punches holes in walls and sings a cappella like it's a hostage situation. And of course, Ryan, the smuggest temp in the history of temps. And don't forget, this is supposed to be a paper company. If you worked in this office, you'd call your mom crying by Wednesday. Look, I get it. Jim and Pam is the holy grail of sitcom couples for a lot of people. But let's be real. Jim spends years flirting with a woman who's engaged to someone else while pranking his coworker daily like a bored middle schooler. Pam allows it, encourages it, and eventually falls for it. Yes, the chemistry is cute, but if you squint even slightly, it's just emotional cheating with extra stapler jokes. Also, if a coworker was spending this much time plotting elaborate office pranks instead of doing their job, you'd hate them. Let's stop pretending this was some great love story and admit Jim and Pam were kind of the villains if you weren't on their side. People say they rewatch The Office because it's comforting, and I get it. It's the Netflix version of a weighted blanket, but comfort doesn't mean quality. It means familiarity. This show's real power is repetition. You don't watch The Office to be challenged. You watch it because you already know every beat of every joke. It's low-stakes emotional background noise. And that's fine. But let's stop acting like it's some brilliant satire of corporate culture. Because if it were, it wouldn't be making Michael Scott a hero, or Dwight Schrute the quirky underdog. It would be holding up a mirror, not a laugh track. Alright, here's the final point, the big one. The Office normalized bad behavior because it packaged it as relatable. It taught people that it's fine to joke about race, gender, sexuality, or mental health at work, as long as you're well-meaning, that it's fine to mess with your coworkers, as long as you also bring donuts on Fridays, and that being incompetent, unprofessional, and wildly inappropriate is just part of being a character. But it's not. It's toxic behavior in pastel cubicles. And the worst part? We laughed, and then we copied it. How many workplaces tried to be like The Office? How many managers think doing a bad British accent during layoffs is funny? This show didn't just reflect cringe, it normalized it. So is The Office the worst show ever made? Of course not. But is it the best sitcom of all time? Not even close. It's funny, sure. But it's also a masterclass in how to make dysfunction look adorable. This was director Ammar Hejazi, and if you made it to the end without turning off the camera and mumbling, "That's what she said," you deserve a Dundee. Hit like, drop a comment with your next target for sitcom honesty, and don't forget to subscribe, because next time, we might just talk about how Friends was actually... never mind. I'll save that for the brave.